We back at it again with another one. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope you've been practicing, back testing. Jumping back straight to it, we're looking at gold and we are on the 1 hour time frame. And without wasting any time, we see that gold is on a bullish streak, right? And again, one thing I just want to show y'all, right? If you pay close attention to gold, as I said in my previous video, that whenever gold starts a trend, it tends to continue with it. But again, probably fundamentals again, right? So if you can see, right, this candle here, that was a FOMC night, I remember very well. We pushed to the upside. Eventually, we had our retest, and again, that's when we had that impulse to the upside, right? But if you pay close attention, you can see that every time we pushed, we had those higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high, and that higher low. And now we have that higher high. So that's how you confirm that you are in a bullish trend, right? Seeing those higher highs and those higher lows, right? So this is what I'm talking about. Y'all can see clear. We are in a trend, higher highs and higher lows. That's what we're creating, right? So again, looking at it that way, I just want to show you all again using a Fibonacci. And again, when it comes to using a Fibonacci, you start at your where price started pushing the most, right? Where the trend started. In this case, it started there and drag it up to where price is currently at, right? So this was my major push, as y'all can see it. That was my major push. That was my major push to the upside. And then if I was to use my arrow just to show y'all, and when it comes to the Fibonacci, we look at the 61 and the 50, right? That's our golden zones. And again, when we see the 60, y'all can see that we had some kind of rejections right there. Y'all can see that we had some kind of rejections right there on the 61. Y'all can see, right, we had some kind of rejections, and eventually price did push to the upside, right? So using a Fibonacci may be accurate, but sometimes it's better for y'all to go straight with your own technical analysis, because remember, analyzing helps you, right? You won't just wake up, or you won't just open your phone or just open your laptop and just jump in or just take positions, right? That is not done. You cannot just open the market and go short or go long. That is not done. You have to analyze, you have to see what the market shows you, right? And as I always say, you trade the market for what they are, right? You do not create your own setups. So in this case, as I said before, we are in a bullish trend, right? So as y'all can see, we are in a bullish trend, creating those higher highs and those higher lows. As y'all can see it, creating those higher highs and those higher lows, right? So being honest with y'all, if I was to go to the 15-minute time frame, right, you can see it clearly. Y'all can see it clearly on the 15-minute time frame with no doubt. Right? Y'all can see it because we created some kind of support right there, right? And previously, again, y'all can see every time we impulsed, we had that retest. Every time we impulsed, we had that retest, right? Every time we impulsed, we had that retest. So this just shows you that you have to trade the markets for what they are, unlike you creating your own setups, unlike you creating your own zones, right? As y'all can see, every time we impulsed, we had that retest. Every time we impulsed, eventually we had that retest, right? Every time we impulsed, we had that retest. So what do I mean by that? We are in a bullish trend, creating those higher highs and those higher lows. So firstly, that's how you confirm that, hey, we are in a bullish trend. And again, you may use the daily time frame as your playground, right? Because on the daily, you may see all those resistance and all those support very clear, with no doubt, with no fogment, right? So for now, just looking at gold, let me use my resistance and I'm gonna use it as a zone, right? Because being honest with y'all, I really thought that price was gonna drop to the downside, but yesterday was Monday and today, it's a Tuesday, and we'll see what the market has for us. But again, if there is nothing, you step away. As I said, and I will always say it, just because you are a trader doesn't mean you have to trade on a daily, right? There's a time to sit back, there's a time to take trades, right? So me looking at this right here, as y'all can see, I created some kind of resistance which now will turn into support, right? As y'all can see, I used my previous wick, and as I said, always look to the left hand side, use past data, you know just to make sure what you're seeing, because sometimes the market tends to repeat itself, right? And again, y'all can see that I've marked all my highs. 2600, that was the recent high, and now 2625, which was the high that we created last week, right? And now price is pushing around 2636, right? So this just shows you that gold may actually go to 3000 per pound. So that's so crazy, but that's gold. It's a precious metal, right? And again, I only trade gold. I only focus on gold on a daily. But again, I have my time zones for gold. Just because gold runs all the time doesn't mean you have to trade all the time, right? You gotta trade smart, not hard. Sometimes you gotta trade smart. So back to what I was saying, right? We see that eventually price, as y'all can see, I used my trend line to create some kind of trend right there. As y'all can see, when price pushed to the upside, eventually we had that impulse to the downside. And yes, yesterday I did catch those profits. I did catch some profits, but yeah, it wasn't that good because eventually price pulled back up with me, and I thought that we were gonna reject and drop to the downside, but eventually price didn't do that, right? We only had a fake out. And again, that's acceptable, that's normal, right? Just because you lost a trade or just because a trade didn't go your way doesn't make you a bad trader. It's okay to take L's, but you have to take your L's and turn them into a lesson for you to feel that the wins are gonna be blessings, right? The profits are gonna be blessings. That's what I mean, matter of fact. So, as y'all can see, we had our first rejection, second rejection, and honestly, I really thought that price was gonna drop to the downside, but eventually, price just started consolidating, and we had that subsequent bullish candle, and now y'all can see that gold it's continuing its bullish streak, right? But just being honest and just looking at the market, just doing my analysis, price may probably retest this resistance whereby now it's going to turn into a support. Price might retest it and probably continue to the upside, right? Price might retest and probably continue to the upside, or we may eventually break. And as I said in my previous video, I'm really targeting gold to drop back down to 2600. That's what I'm looking at, right? But again, this is not binary trading, right? We trade with the setup, we trade with the strategy, whereby our strategy confirms, our strategy shows us, and we have to have at least more than 3 confirmations that price is gonna go our way, right? Just because you see a candle or just because you see a breakout doesn't mean you have to jump in. Analyze proper, take your time, right? It's okay to miss out. And again, I've realized that the downfall of most beginners is that they want to trade all the time. Just because there's an event or just because there's something going on in the market doesn't mean you have to trade. It's okay to sit back and watch. It's okay to sit back and wait, right? It's okay to miss out. Trust me, it's okay to miss out. If you were like if you were to trade careful in the market and not just jump into any trades, I promise you that 95% of y'all would be like full time in the market. Because remember, You do not need $10,000 to be a full-time trader. You do not need $20,000. You can start trading with 1,000. You can start trading with 2,000 using proper risk management, right? Growing your account in a proper way. But y'all wanna follow the meter. Y'all wanna flip 100 into a million. That's not possible. That's not possible. Come on. You gotta be near reality. You shouldn't be far from reality, right? I know the truth hurts, but that's how it is. So, yeah, that's the kind of setup we're looking at. But again, this is gold, and gold may eventually continue its bullish streak to the upside, but I'm really seeing price dropping to the downside. I won't even lie. I'm really seeing price dropping to the downside because eventually this trend I created right there, I really thought that price was gonna respect it, but now I see that we actually have that kind of third touch. So I think we have a valid trend line, right? As y'all can see it, we have a valid trend line. We have a valid trend line, and eventually a subsequent bearish candle popped. So yeah, let's see how it goes. As you all can see, we had our first touch, second touch, and now that's the third touch, whereby we had that subsequent bearish candle. And probably you might enter, but I wouldn't recommend that. Why? Because looking at past data, looking to the left hand side, you all can see that whenever we rejected, we did job, but eventually we had that pullback to the upside. Whenever we whenever we rejected, we did drop, but eventually we had that pullback to the upside, right? So what do you think? I'm really assuming that price is gonna do the same thing. We might have a fake out to the downside. We might have a fake out to the downside, right? But eventually price continues with its bullish streak later on in the day, right? Remember, this is the 15-minute time frame. We're scalping in and out. But if you were to go on the 1 hour time frame, right? If we were to use the 1 hour time frame, you would see it proper, right? Price would just look like a retest. Price would just retest that support. Price would just retest that zone, and again spike up back to the upside. So what I mean is patience is key, timing is crucial, and again, you shouldn't just trade just because there is an event or just because your session is active. Wait for the market to show you proper setups. Wait for the market to come to you. Don't go to the market. The market has to show you proper setups. In other words, the market has to give you setups that you respect, setups that apply with your strategy, with your plan. You always have to follow your plan, right? We trade the markets for what they are. So going back to it, but if eventually price respect my trend line right there, because now I see that we really have those three touches, and it's really valid. If price respect, I'm really seeing price dropping down to 2,600, that previous high. Just being honest, that's why I'm seeing price. And again, whenever you're in profit, let your stop loss to break even and drag your stop loss into profit. Whenever you dip into profits, drag it, drag it. That way you never lose. Even though price turns, you're still in profit, right? Yeah, Breeze is signing out. Thank y'all for your time. Yes, sir.